Kia ora. Let's get into expanding quadratics. One of the methods we can use is called the FOIL method. It's a simple way to multiply two binomials by following the acronym first, outer, inner, last. You multiply the first terms, then multiply the outer terms, then the inner terms, and finally the last terms. You then add the results and simplify. In te reo, this is whakawhānui inya whārite pūrua. Let's get into it. We use our first example here. These are our binomials. We start off with pink here. This would be the first expression in both binomials. So that would be our x and our x, both of the firsts. So that would be x times x. The next we're going to have, I'll put in orange, is our outer, which will be our x and our 7. Now we got to be careful here because we got to take that operation as well. So it's x times -7. We move on from the x to the 3, and we now do our inner, which is going to be the 3 and the x, which gives us 3 times x. And then the last, we have our last expressions in the binomial. 3 times -7. We remember to carry in the operation as well. 3 times -7. Now let's start from the first and work our way down. We'll erase these. X times x equals x squared. That's how that's simplified. X times -7. How do we write this down? We always take the coefficient first and then we write the variable. So this turns into -7 x. We have our inners. 3 times x is 3x, and then our lasts here, 3 times -7 is -21. Now we need to put it together, x squared. Now I want to make sure I bring in that operation, -7x. Bring in our inners. It's a positive number, so we're going to take the plus 3x, and then our final here, which is -21. Now this could be simplified even further, just a little bit more. We have our x squared. That cannot be simplified. That stays how it is. We have -7, which brings us down 7. We're adding 3. And so the end result is going to give us, which I will just do as orange, plus 4x. And then we keep our -21. And this is our expanded version using the FOIL method. Thanks. Let's talk about expanding quadratics again. Yet this time we're going to talk about the grid method, in contrast to the FOIL method we talked about last time. Grid method is for expanding brackets by laying out terms in a grid, multiplying each pair of expressions in the binomial, and then adding the results. It gives the same answer as FOIL. FOIL is quicker for simpler binomials. The grid method is more clear when things get a bit messy, like this example we have here. Get into our example we have here. To make this grid method, we need a square. Now we build our square out from making rows and columns based off of the two binomial expressions. We start off at the top here. We've got 2x. We want to make sure we take the operation with us, just -4. Those are our columns. For our rows, we'll have 3x, and we'll use a -5. We got to make sure we bring in that operation. So now we can start off with this first box we have here up in the upper left. We have 2x times 3x. What is 2x times 3x? We first multiply the coefficients. 2 times 3 is 6, and then x times x is x squared. We can move on to the upper right quadrant here, which is -4 times 3x. 4 times 3 is 12. We need to bring in that operation. So that's -12x. Now we can move on to the lower left quadrant here, which is 2x times -5. What is 2 times 5? That's 10. Bring in that operation. It's -10x. -10x. And lastly, we have -4 times -5. A negative times a negative is a positive, and 4 times 5 is 20. Now we could take all of these and we simply add them together. We'll start off with our first expression. We've got 6x squared. We'll move on to the next quadrant here, which is -12x minus 10x plus 20. That can get simplified even further, which brings us to 6x squared. We have minus 12, and we're bringing it down even farther to make it 22x plus 20. Now this is our fully expanded version using the grid method instead of the FOIL method. They both work the same. Maybe you might prefer this method over that one. Here we're just giving you multiple tools so you can troubleshoot the problem on your own. Thanks. Kakite. We're still in expanding quadratics. This is the third video, and this is the third technique, the technique that I personally use, which I've lovingly called the rainbow method, but you can call it whatever you want. There's no formal name for this. The rainbow method expands binomials. Remember, those are the ones we have two expressions, like the one here in this image, by drawing curved lines above those expressions to show which terms multiply together and then adding the results. It gives the same answer as the FOIL and the grid methods, but uses less writing and relies on clear visual link between the terms. And the goal here in each of these three methods is that we're multiplying each expression by each of the expressions represented. So I'll show you what I do here. I'm going to use pink first, and I'll zoom in. I draw this shape first because what we're doing is we're multiplying 2x times 2x, and this rainbow kind of reminds me that I'm doing that. So we multiply 2x by 2x. We've got 2 times 2 is 4, x squared. Move on to orange. I'm still at that 2x. I need to make sure I multiply that by this 3 here, but it's not just 3. I got to bring in that operation. It's negative 3. What is 2 times negative 3? It's going to be negative 6x. Move to yellow, and we're moving into the 3 here. 3 times 2x. It's going to be plus. What is 3 times 2? That's 6. So we've got 6x. And then lastly, we have our green. We have multiplied the positive 3 times the negative 3. A negative times a positive becomes a negative. So we have negative 3 times 3 is 9. This can be simplified. We keep our 4x squared. Can't do much with that. Negative 6 plus 6x. We're here. We're at 0. We have negative 6x. We add 6x. That brings us right back where we were before. It's just nothing. It's 0. I could write plus 0 here, but I'm just going to leave it. And I'm going to move on to our negative 9 because plus 0 is just implied in math. And now our ending result is 4x squared minus 9 using the rainbow method, which you could do with colors or just with pencil. Now you've got 3 different methods you can use: the FOIL method, the grid method, and then the rainbow method that I lovingly call. Hopefully either one of these helps you out when you've got to troubleshoot these on your own. You'll do great. Kakite.